The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
Welcome to Forever Fab, the podcast dedicated to fashion, the art of living well, and all things beauty. I'm your host, Dr. Shirley Madhere, the founder of the Holistic Plastic Surgery Philosophy and your purveyor of this definitive source of living a beautiful life. In this podcast, I like to have intelligent and fun discussions around some of the things that move me with joy. And that means fashion, art, wellness, and the many faces of beauty. I like to keep it refreshing and real, educational but entertaining, scientific, and most definitely fabulous and fantastic. This week's episode is dedicated to emotionally driven entrepreneurship. The title of the episode is Model Citizen, the New Face of Compassionate Success. This is my interview with Megan Blackwell. International runway and print model Megan Blackwell has lived many lives. From runway and print model to minister, then celebrity massage therapist to healer, Megan's trajectory has led her to create a CBD and cannabis-infused line of products, BesoWellness, for her clients and for the earth. Megan herself is a multicultural beauty whose modeling work has enabled her to travel the world. Her experiences abroad have informed her choices in formulating therapeutically-minded products. Her life story, thus far, is rich and replete with creativity, trials, tribulations, and ultimately redemption. She joins me via Riverside FM today to discuss her calling, passions, purpose, and the art of healing. Megan, welcome to the Forever Fab podcast. Congratulations on all of your success, and thank you for becoming a member of this beautiful community.
Thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm looking forward to, diving deep into what makes people fabulous.
Let's do a deep dive. You obviously know how to make people fabulous because you're one yourself. So you know what they say, it takes one to know one. So it's all about you, Megan. Let's go in.
All right. Perception is reality. That's right.
There you go. So how has, I know you had a very artistic life from many different perspectives. How has art played a role in your life and your choice of career?
Oh, gosh. From the time that I can remember, my grandmother was one of those amazing women who had 12 children.
Wow.
My mother was the youngest. And she was instrumental in teaching me about nature, picking fruit, making jam with her, just getting into the natural fundamentals of earth and healthy living. And I would say the natural remedies of everything from the common cold. It was just something that was ingrained in me from a young age to make your bread. And I still have all those old fashioned qualities that are, really from my grandmother still inside of me. And that's what kind of created all this creativity of being a musician, being a chef, and doing all the things that, even just doing makeup is creative. Just taking a look at yourself and enhancing yourself. So,
Very true.
It's all kind of different ways.
Well, you and I have that in common. We believe in enhancements.
That's right.
I
Hey,
might use a needle and a scalpel, but I'm just saying, enhancements nonetheless.
that's right. Exactly.
So, who, besides your grandmother, who was the other most influential person in your early life?
Well, I would say for different reasons. My parents, obviously, my mom
Yeah.
and my dad. My mom is actually handicapped. She's hard of
Oh,
hearing,
okay.
which creates quite, I would say, in the discernment of with a child when your parent is hard of hearing. You're very aware.
Yes.
You have to kind of almost have that discernment for them.
Yes.
So just both my parents were just incredibly. They're like hippie chic, basically.
Love it.
My mom is a jewelry designer, and my father
Ooh.
was a musician.
Oh my
So
gosh. You were
yeah,
surrounded by beauty.
just a lot of it, and being a Libra on top of it, Libras
Yes.
love beautiful things, the balance, like
Yes.
all of the travels that I was exposed to, not only just because of my mom being French Canadian, my father being American Indian,
Wow.
indigenous people. Um,
Yes.
there's just a lot to live
Appreciate.
with, yeah, and appreciate. Exactly.
That's amazing. That is absolutely fantastic. So I love that you use the word discernment because, frankly, part of my tagline in my plastic surgery practice is holistic plastic surgery, person before procedure, because plastic surgery is for the discerning. So I love that you use the word discerning. That's very cool. And as a model, you mentioned traveling, and you obviously traveled internationally as a model. What did the traveling and the modeling industry teach you that you actually use today?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, love is the highest vibration.
Yes.
Doesn't matter where you live, where you go, what language is spoken. If you have the vibration of love, you're going to attach, and people are going to gravitate towards you. So I did a lot of traveling with modeling, but I also was the gypsy lifestyle of an NBA basketball player and living,
Ah,
playing everywhere.
yeah.
But I think the traveling and going to different ceremonial, I think I was always kind of my quest, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
doing the spiritual analyzations
Yeah.
of each place that I lived at.
Yeah.
It gave me a real discernment, even for different religions. I think it was intended for me to go through all of the things that I went through in all these different places, to spiritually explore, um, and also homeopathically explore. I mean, I saw 25 years ago the Eastern medicine coming to
Yeah.
the Western world. I saw
Yeah.
that. And then in 2014 is when I actually went back to school for kinesiology.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I was always, I
Yeah.
have four college athletes, and then I've got the NBA husband, but it was really my quest for my own healing
Yes.
that led me to going back to school, because I had so much pain in my body,
Oh,
that I couldn't separate and learn how to separate through the mind first. Like
that's right.
just recognizing where the pain is. I mean, you pretty much know that
Yeah.
it comes from a root.
Yes,
So once
absolutely.
I discovered how to get that pain out of the body, I had to do it for other people. Love is the highest vibration.
Love is the highest vibration. Now, speaking of other people and the NBA, we're going to have to talk about the NBA thing a little later because I have a cousin who plays in the NBA, and I think it's a very fascinating ecosystem, to say the
Yes.
least.
Yes, it is.
But aside from that, you were married to a man who helped you to hone your interest in massage therapy. Now, how did that relationship or other relationships deepen your passion for this healing modality? You said you have children who are also athletes. Was it that collective that helped you to realize, oh, yeah, I'm a healer?
Well, it basically, working with natural pain remedies was the intention. It's
Got
like,
it.
I watched my husband at 55 my ex-husband just hunched over, pain. They beat their bodies,
Yeah.
but yet it was so exciting for me to work with someone that mentally has gone outside of their body to just deal with pain.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I'm just like, this person right here has the ability. So when I started working, my son was primarily my guinea pig. It was 900
Love is the
hours.
highest vibration.
Exactly. So he's a big guy, 6'6",
Wow.
250. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And just working with him, and trying to make sure that he didn't have the same issues as his dad. And then just going even broader, like, how many people can I affect with a natural pain relief?
Yeah. And I am a huge advocate of homeopathy. I also studied homeopathy, and I use it as a complement to, traditional Western medicines. And I think it's pretty amazing stuff. So kudos to you. Now let's go to church.
All right.
Let's go to church, sister. Are you more of a religious woman or a spiritual woman, or do you use them as a hybrid? And what's the difference for you?
Well, let's go. Well, first of all, let's say in I think it was 1989. I went to seminary for 3 years. I was actually, yeah. So I was an ordained minister.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to tell you the pathway of how I got to where I got to now is pretty remarkable. But
yes,
for some time, when there's a calling for that, when you actually feel like there's something outside of you that is being called to help people to address their own personal relationship with God, that was probably the happiest time. But when that monument is then built into a man, that's where the separation of religion and spirituality, because it's your own personal walk that you have to have. And so it's no longer about calling somebody to where they're supposed to be. It's being the example. It's being happy. It's being centered. It's being, that person that you're telling someone else to be. You have to become that person.
So like,
I would say I'm definitely more spiritual in my thinking than I am on a task orientation.
Got it. Got it.
Of what you're supposed to do. It's all about the vibration.
Understood. And so it sounds as if what the journey that you've had, at least at that point, was not only to help heal others, but to heal yourself, because that journey and the experiences served as a mirror for you to see yourself so you can heal yourself. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and when I came out of, teaching and preaching, that was 12 years of my life, living from India to Johannesburg to Egypt to Turkey. I mean, the things that I've seen and the places that I've visited, I'm so blessed. Like, truly. I mean, that's how come I personally got into massage, is because I went to a Chinese orphanage and I saw just the cytochromastinoid here was the only thing that the babies could even move, these little baby girls, because they were just given away. And I thought, without human touch, we could die.
Yeah, we don't grow.
Yeah.
We don't grow.
So touches and so instead of me preaching the word and just being verbal, I wanted to go as far away from it as I could and put my hands on people and touch through love. And
that's beautiful.
That's the products. It's all about the intention.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about the products. So at one point in your life, you had it all, and then you lost it all. How did you develop the strength and the resilience to find yourself again and then have it all again?
I would say that, again, it's about the intention of what I have done. What my intention is to create the same thing. If you're open to it, that I've been healed, you can be healed. It's as simple as that. Just wanting people to have the blessing. So falling, I had one time a client. I cried after she said it. She said, you've gone so far in pain to come up out of it, to give other people the insight. And the pain was worth it, because if you come out on the other side, then you can inspire.
That's right.
You can inspire.
Now, speaking of inspiration, let's talk about your products. What inspired you or motivated you to create this line of CBD infused products?
Oh, well, I would say the most important thing was that whatever resonated with me, whatever, like when I lived in Lebanon, I was like, this sandalwood that is spoken eloquently.
I love sandalwood.
Oh, it's such a beautiful smell, and it gives it preserves. And who doesn't want to have that preservation in a life? So everything is pretty much ceremonially, like all the oils that are in there was something that resonated, or something that's spiritually, frankincense and myrrh, or all these things that resonated with me. I just put into a big pot. So it was like when I was small, going back to with my grandmother. There's an article actually that the PR firm, bless them, wrote about the big spoon, because it was always something that I was always creating.
Yes.
And so the products are really, if people that know me know, I've always had frankincense and myrrh in the air. I've just always kind of had these smells that I just am attracted to, and for whatever reason, healing properties. So that's what it started, was the oils that resonated.
Yes.
And then cannabis has just always been such a healing plant. Yeah. And then, of course, being as a minister,
right,
it was taboo.
Of course,
it was not something that. So I just kind of waited. I always felt like, there's a glass of wine and there's some cannabis. What's really the difference other than the legalities of it? And so once those legalities really opened up, I was like, it's my opportunity to really try to create something where I can see the pain is out and it resonates.
So your products then, are they CBD infused, or are they cannabis infused, or combination?
Combination.
Okay.
So so basically what I wanted to do was create the products in all different SKUs. So there's a balance of THC, cannabinoids, there's CBD, and then there's hemp.
Okay. That's fantastic. So you can only sell, and therefore people can only purchase the cannabis infused products in those states where cannabis has been legalized.
Exactly. So just here in the state of California is where we're located.
Got it. You might get a lot of people flying to California.
That's it. Come on. Let's get a treatment in.
Let's get it in. Now, do you still perform massage therapy now that you are? No.
Absolutely. Like that's my end goal here. The products are absolutely the intention, but it's all about creating the products were for mind, body, and spirit centering. So I use literally the hair and cocktail for the mind, the relaxation. It's for the times right now. We're dealing with anxiety. We're dealing with depression. We're dealing with isolation. So these products help to take a moment to just look at, where am I? How am I breathing?
Yeah.
How am I relaxed? Because the body only heals when it's asleep, right? So when we're at the most relaxed moment of our time is when our body regenerates. Yeah. So that's what I work really hard at, getting a client to relax enough in their mind, their breathing, and then all this stuff is just like in 4 minutes, you can literally see the fascia just relaxing.
Wow.
And once you can get in there, we have 7 layers of skin. So once you get into that deep tissue, that's when you're touching those cells that go back to the brain that tells you, oh my gosh, might have a chip on my shoulder. Might be
Brush
holding
your
on
shoulders
to
off.
it. Yes, I might be. So let me figure out how to get that pain out of the body.
Yes.
Yes. So.
That's sort of next level massage. I mean, admittedly, when I go on vacation, which hasn't been in a few years now, but when I go on vacation, you go to the spa, you get the massage. What you're describing sounds like next level stuff. Like, yes, I'm getting a massage, I'm taking the knots out, I'm relieving stress and tension, but you're going sort of like deeper level to try to bring about an emotional release, an understanding, and an awareness, and maybe a touch point for healing. So that's sort of next level massage therapy.
Bingo. So that's the intention. So when I started working in these amazing cannabis events that we started, I think it was 2016, and we would rent large estates, large mansions, and we would have what we would call cannabis balls. Now, when I lived in Egypt 35 years ago, I saw this cannabis leaf on the hieroglyphs. And I was like, is that really
interesting?
Is that really there? So when the legalization at the time, you would have all these vendors that were just creating. It was so awesome to see all these people coming together with tinctures and drinks and smoothies and facials and nails and so much product. This is California.
Right.
And so I just thought, well, I really want to go into the wellness aspect of not just getting high, not just getting plastered, but really how the cellular repair can happen. So when we started these events, I couldn't find a product for a 7'2" guy that I could start at the top, come all the way down to the feet, and 90 minutes later, and the product would be just flowing.
Yeah.
Just silky smooth. And so that's...
And smell delicious.
Smell amazing. Because if you put all your senses, our skin shows our journey in life.
Absolutely.
It's like, true. Okay, you can tell if a person is, how they eat. That you gotta, they can hear. So the products, were about the consistency and the flow. I would say that was so important. Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing, and it's been the clients that I've listened to go, is there too much of this, too much of that? So it's been a process of kind of like a chef.
A communal and loving process.
Yep, exactly.
You've just listened to part 1 of Forever Fab podcast. Please stay tuned for part 2, coming up next.